Hello, everyone, and welcome to another scene in Living World of Darkness. This is going to be a scene for Rage Across New York, the werewolf venue. Today's scene is going to be taking place on the set. Once again, she's starting to adjust into some of her impromptu guardian duties, and is probably finishing up some of her rounds, at least for the day.
Yeah, Coolio for his part is woke up in a pretty good mood. Comes to the sept. Dressed pretty casually, which people that know him would know that means he's in a pretty good mood. Loose fitting shirt, jeans, boots. Dressed very, very summery for late fucking November. But it's not like this is back home.
It's not that cold.
This is August for him. Maybe not August. Maybe early May. Yeah. He moment he arrives on set, he does a very quick round. He knows there's enough guardians that someone's gonna shout, or better said, howl if something happens. But he's gonna spend some time tending to the shrines. Uh, all the major shrines, all the untended ones, cleaning them up, making sure there are offerings, making sure everything's in check, spending, making sure that the last shrine he takes care of his grandfather's takes extra time with it, gives special attention to the shrine of the spirit that guards his tribe. And considering a work stay is done, he goes towards the lake, finds a comfortable tree to lean against, slumps on the ground, feet forward. Just stares into nothing, closes his eyes. Good moment to be alone with your thoughts at the end of the workday. Spins.
And unfortunate twist of fate, as he gets the moment of quiet, the Silver Fang Galliard passes by his field of vision.
He still eyes closed. Takes a whiff. There is a smell of pure breed. A falcon's brood. He thinks it could be one of the two silver fangs he met, and he got along surprisingly well, contrary to popular belief. Doesn't say anything. But he starts humming with a fairly decent voice. He's not a great singer. He's not a singer by any stretch of the word. But he's got a pretty decent voice, given the circumstances. Starts slowly humming without words. A very well known, very old Russian folk song.
Oh no.
You want to hear the best part
Yes.
and the in joke?
Yes.
It's a love song.
Oh.
You, you want to know the cherry on top?
Oh no. How could it get?
How can it get worse than this? It's a love song that's usually sang by a woman or a girl because it's written from a female's perspective.
Yeah, that's going to be enough to get Ksenia's attention.
Like,
And
there's no possible way you'd be born and bred in Russia without hearing this song bastardized at every drinking party. It's like I don't know. Let's give a comparison. I don't know. It's like being American and never hearing New York, New York.
do you mean New York State of Mind?
No, like New York, New York, like Frank Sinatra's song.
Okay. Yeah. Shit, even I've heard that one. Yeah, no. I get what you're saying. Yeah, that's gonna be enough to get her. She stops in her motherfucking tracks, and you know what? She's just gonna bit getting a bit closer here to hear this.
Just carries on humming. Starts putting words to it.
She's not going to interrupt this. She thinks she feels a little too nostalgic at this point, actually.
Stops for a second. Doesn't put two and two together. Because he's not paying attention around him. So he didn't hear any steps. So might be Jacob doing his rounds, just passing through. Could be another Silver Fang. Fuck it, he's not making a purpose out of meeting every Silver Fang on Sept.
Whenever he finishes, um, oh, was he singing that with any amount of emotion? Was there anything behind that?
Maybe a bit of like nostalgia, but nothing like obvious. He's not singing his heart out. It's just like
For sure.
because keep out of character. Keep in mind this guy has no performance, so
Hmm.
it's hardly the Red Army Choir.
Alrighty. And she'll say, many of the female Garu from my sept would use that song, or I suppose remix it or remake it when they were courting a male kin.
Does she say this in English or in Russian, by the way?
Oh, in Russian.
He replies in Russian, of course. Getting homesick, princess?
Nostalgic, but I've just gotten here.
You know, this song came out during the war, and it's like most people say it's actually about the gun, not the girl that they're singing.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that story too. My grandmother sang it to her gun.
Uh, yeah, but usually when people said Katyusha, they didn't mean a normal gun. They meant the anti-aircraft stuff they used. But let's not split hairs here. He sits up. Done your rounds?
Just finished.
Anything happen?
Not really. There was an aggressive squirrel earlier.
Surely you called for backup, right?
Of course, I brought the entire sept's defenses.
Gaia knows what an aggressive, vicious, vile squirrel could do to a delicate flower such as yourself.
It could die to me on my shirt.
Well, it's good that no one got harmed.
You seem to be in a far better mood.
I've got my days.
And this is a good one?
It's a better one, not a good one.
What's it take for you to get a good one?
A miracle.
No,
And a couple of bottles.
does it have to be in that order?
If they come close one next to the other, I don't care about the order.
I'll keep note of that.
So, how do you find our sept?
Laboratory. I find it to be a gigantic Gaian laboratory.
You hung out too much among the glasswalkers.
What I mean by that is there are new things being tried here without much regard for tradition or what has come before, an attempt to create new ideas, whether they be Weaverish or just something different.
I never tried reciting the litany to any of the spirals I had to fight, but I'm gonna go off on a limb here and say that they're not gonna cower in fear, probably, and beat themselves over the head with the first brick they find in shame.
It seems like there's far too much going on to afford getting involved in things like that, at least too heavily. It's not to say that we shouldn't conduct ourselves accordingly.
It's nice to try new things.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's good to bury old bridges. But people chase after ideals and sometimes forget some things need to be done. Did you step sideways since you're here?
I won't lie, I haven't yet.
He looks over your shoulder at the lake behind you. Says, the lake makes for a pretty good mirror.
All right. And yeah, fuck it. She's gonna see if she can't do this shit.
I have no idea what the freaking Vel rating is over here. Probably 5.
Alrighty. I don't know if there's any house rules to stepping sideways, but
As far as I know, there aren't.
alrighty.
Roll your noses. I think it's difficulty 5 over here, but might be wrong.
I think we're near the heart of the cairn, so I think it goes down by 1. Not entirely sure.
I think the heart of the cairn is 3, around the cairn is 4, and by the lake it's 5, but just make a safe assumption it's 5.
Fair enough. Can you set up the thing, please? I forgot about that.
I'm already in werewolf dice roller, already rolled what I had to roll before the scene, already rolled my noses.
All right.
So for his part, Kolya sits up, looks at the lake, and vanishes through the velvet shadow, like the wonderful theater she is.
Alrighty. And Ksenia manages to do the same thing.
Ooh, like a boss, both of us. I'm told this place was a lot more lively.
Whew.
But that was a bit before my time.
Things wax and wane. She's gonna stop. She's gonna kind of stare a bit wide-eyed at all the webs all around them. Off in the distance.
I don't think in the distance, yeah, but I don't think there are webs around in the sept, for fuck's sake. Like,
Not in the sept, but they're probably still visible. There are tall buildings around like Central Park.
little bastion around all these buildings, all these temples of the weaver, people around my old sept used to call them. There were a lot more spirits around the sept. But people forget that spirits are not that unlike us.
That's interesting. I was taught quite differently.
People forget. Forget the spirits need to be honored. Remembered. Fed, for lack of a better word. Told you about the spiral pack northwards. Their theurges tried to lure our spirits away. Managed to do it to a certain extent. We lost a lot of spirits. We're still trying to get most of them back.
What does it take to do that? Time and effort? Or some cleansing? Or what?
Takes constant effort. Shrines need to be tended. The spirits' broods need to be fed. I'm sure you've met the Den Father by now, right?
Not yet, but I've at least heard his name. Bites the whip?
Kolya nods. Yes. Theurge of my tribe. Born on 4 legs. You will notice him feeding the crows. That's why we still have crow spirits around. There are other spirits. All have broods in the Tellurian. They need to be fed. Kept safe. That's how we win the favor of the spirits. An old saying says that an army marches on its stomach. And the spirits are as much of a part of our army as we are. You don't feed your army, you get deserters or weak soldiers. See what I'm getting at?
Yes. These acts of devotion there will keep the spirit strong, and they're what's going to replenish our spiritual power.
He nods. It's a customary to appoint a keeper of the land. Unfortunately, there's few of us to spare. Usually it falls onto the tribe of each brood to tend to its shrine. Some are more maintained than others. Some even forget that they belong to a tribe, to a brood. Tell me, did you visit the Shrine of Falcon since you arrived?
I I visited once I was properly brought onto the set. So, all in all, I've really only been to the shrine about 3 times now.
That's good. Some do that. Some do this even less than that. Some only do it in times of need. Some not even then. I guess you can see now why I'm rushing to take care of that spiral pack.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense. Not that it didn't before. I'm chomping at the bit to take out those spirals myself.
It's different for us children of the crescent moon. Some say it's a blessing, some say it's a curse. The fact that it is within our duty and our skill set to be able to commune with the spirits. I met a couple of Galliards who coveted this gift. This guy gave an ability to speak to the spirits, hoping that they could bargain with them for their stories. For even young spirits are older than most Garu. And some, appeased the proper way, might be willing to part with some of their wisdom.
I can see the appeal. In a lot of ways, it makes you you can at least understand what's wrong.
Yet you only see the full side of the glass. Once this gift is bestowed upon Agaru, you have it. Day in and day out for the rest of your existence. Every moment you step into the Umbra, you hear them, you understand them. It's nice. Some might say it's even honorable to wish to share the wisdom of the spirits with the nation. But what will you do when they come to you with their pleas, with their needs, with their grievances, with their favors to ask in return? You see? That's the catch. I do not envy any Garu for their duties, any auspice for what they have to do. I would enjoy the same courtesy in return.
Of course. Each of us is only 1/5 of the equation.
But I think we did our duties enough for one day. I was thinking of heading home the long way, grabbing a nightcap. Care to join me for a drink before we go to bed?
Mm,
Out of character, I didn't get it.
It's fine to. I was just trying to think of how she'd answer. She'll say, "Sure. I don't drink too often, so may as well treat myself."
Kolya goes to the lake. And attempts to step sideways again because he's not gonna grab a drink in the Umbra.
For sure.
Like a boss. Back into the Telvrian.
Alrighty. Let's see if my 2 dice is gonna. Let's see if my 2 dice fails me.
Nope,
Nope. We're good.
we're good. He looks at you, gives you a bit of a smug smile, and says, "So, is your chauffeur going to pick us up, or would you rather take the commoner way around town?"
Oh, yes, I was going to have my chauffeur take me. Show me this bar of yours.
Yeah, Kolya leads the way and heads out of the park and yeah, makes his way with, I don't know what public transport goes up to there, or actually down to there, because Little Odessa is somewhere in Brooklyn.
It's all good. Uber is powerful in New York.
Yeah, but he makes a purpose out of not taking an Uber because Kolya is an Uber fan. But like, he's trying to show the upper class how the working class does shit. So he's gonna make a purpose out of like finding a train or a subway or something, or like a bus, something really dingy, really weird, really dodgy.
I mean, either way, they're gonna get seats for themselves.
Yeah, yeah, actually, yeah. Given his rage is not that high, but her rage, yeah. So yeah, as the two make their way through public transport, everyone giving a wide berth to this weird couple speaking really quick, really heavily accented Russian to each other. Because they're not gonna break into English for any reason. Because why? And it just gives context to people staying the fuck away.
Mm-hmm.
They make their way to, as far as I know, it's around Brighton Beach, so like south of Brooklyn.
Okay, right.
To Little Odessa. The moment you step out of the bus, starts looking kind of like home. You see shop signs in Russian. You hear people speaking Russian on the street to each other. You feel the distinctive smell of Russian black tea with orange peel somewhere in the distance. There's this little traditional Russian butcher shop in the corner. You see Russian cars, you see Russian Ladas parked. It's yeah, like you took a bus back home magically.
Yeah, Cassandra. She may not have been homesick, but damn, this is cool.
Kolya takes a step back. Let's Ksenia take in the sights for a second. And as he says, he looks at her and her reaction, because he's taking a guess. She didn't expect this. Says, close your mouth, princess. You're gonna let the fly in.
You have been referring to me improperly. The correct term is queen, thank you.
Yeah. I'm sure there are a couple of people that would have an issue with that, but let's not split hairs.
I'll also take Empress.
The most I can do is, and he comes and leans in close and says, "Yuf." But that
I will accept that as
and he leads you to, like, he starts walking down to a back alley to this little dingy bar slash coffee shop slash tea house slash whatever the fuck you want to call it. Establishment. Let's just call it an establishment. Called, let's see. Let's find a good name for it. Matryoshka, which is the Russian name for the Russian nesting dolls.
Oh, it's the Russian name for what?
For the Russian nesting dolls.
Okay, all right.
You know what those are?
Nope.
Fair enough. Let me just give you a second because I apparently I'm a lot more familiar with Russian pop culture than you are.
I mean, I didn't doubt that, nor did I find that unexpected.
Hey, I'm trying to help you out. Give me a second. Give me a second.
All right.
There's no point in confusing you out of character. Check your Facebook. You've got
I'm
your
already
reference.
pulling it up. Oh, I'm okay. Okay, I've seen those.
But
Okay.
yeah, it's called Matryoshka. And has like a steel sign hanging somewhere of a Matryoshka doll. And it's just like rusted and like the paint's chipping off. It looks very rustic, for lack of a better word. And Kolya just walks in like uh, like he's part of the usual scenery. Nods at the guy at the bar. There's this big, burly, bald guy at the bar wearing a wife beater. He's got like tattoos with like freaking weird sayings, like communist sayings, and on his other arm there's this big bold Russian letters that said "Mama never loved me." Uh, yeah, not the kind of guy you want to meet in a dark alley at night. And he just goes to the bar, puts his hands on the bar, and calls to the bartender. Mikhail, give me 100 of vodka and a tea. And he looks over his shoulder at you and says, "So, princess, what are you having?"
She looks at the selection here, which is probably it's beer and vodka, isn't it?
No, it's vodka, wine, Russian black tea, which is like stronger than most commercially available coffees. Uh, and coffee, which is a brand of coffee that people in Russia drink as a last resort.
Okay, that's when there's nothing else.
Yeah, it's like you give that to your guests when you want to subtly ask them to get the fuck out of your house.
Alrighty. What's homegirl gonna what?
Their selection of booze is impressive.
Yeah.
Like they even have the top shelf stuff, which is a bit surprising given the general layout and look of this place.
Um, she'll just say, "Let's go with vodka," and she'll list off the brand, which because I know there's shit tons of brands.
Is she going for like the top shelf, really expensive stuff?
No, no, just go
Like
for that. Just going for that shit. She's
like
going
how
for that. We're finishing a Sunday night, not a Friday night.
Fair enough. The guy over at the bar nods, pulls out 2 glasses, pours vodka single-handedly in each glass. You see Kolya is having something that is closer to like freaking to like sterilizing alcohol than to anything fit for human consumption. Like it looks like something you wouldn't want to smoke next to. And he pours you the vodka. You figure out that because you ordered in Russian and because he knows Kolya, you're getting enough vodka to actually stun a full-grown man.
Oh no.
This is Russian amounts of vodka, and we don't discriminate. Our chicks drink. So you get the same amount, which is like probably 4 or 5 shots worth in a single glass. And Kolya takes his glass, pays the man, takes his little teacup with a little like it's like a freaking tacky porcelain cup with something like actually let's go full nostalgia here. It's like something weird for like workers day or something like a communist holiday. It has like the fucking USSR logo on it.
Damn.
It has like a field with like tractors on it. It's like the most tacky thing you can imagine. This like freaking screams Soviet propaganda on it. Even the tray has like freaking uh, uh, tractors painted on it, and like workers plowing the land. It's like people just ignore it. It's like it's a cup.
That's fair.
And he takes the cup, takes the glass, goes outside to one of the 2 tables outside. Grabs an ashtray from the bar on his way out. Sits out, lights up a cigarette. Takes a very, very small sip of the tea.
Yeah, Ksenia will she will take a couple of gulps from this here cup. Whew! Kolya can definitely tell that she's not used to drinking. That's probably the one part of the stereotype that she doesn't embody.
Yeah, he gives her like his eyes like freaking widen. Looks at her completely confused. Takes a short drag of his cigarette. What the actual fuck?
It's the one thing. I have tried. This is why I don't drink often. And it's only for celebrations or days like this.
Oh, so that's why they threw you out of the country. You can't
I was
hold your
not
liquor.
thrown out. I left of my own accord.
You know what they say? Denial is the first step to healing.
Whatever. takes another drink. Oh my god, it tastes like ass wrapped in leathery burnt bacon. Could have made something at all.
Puts on a big smile and says, "Keep in mind, you got the good stuff." And he just like slowly pushes his glass towards Xenia. Try this if you want an actual kick.
Okay. She's gonna try that, and she's. Do you know? Actually, what was handed to her? Was it the black tea? Because that's what I thought it was. It was
No. It was his glass of vodka.
Oh shit! Okay, and he got that good shit.
Yeah, he's got that fucking battery acid level shit.
Oh god. Yeah, she drinks that, and do you know the face that someone makes when they just taste literally the worst thing that they've ever tasted?
Yep.
Yup.
I think it's safe to assume that the first thing that would come to her mind is, why is anyone drinking that on purpose?
She just kind of said, it's like piss ashes mixed in with fucking, I don't even know what they mixed that with. Oh my god.
Puts head on your chest.
Why do men feel the need to drink this?
Like I said, it puts hair on your chest.
There are many other things that put hair on your chest. Fighting, combat, you know, the feeling that you feel when an enemy is at your feet. Not this. This is, I don't even know what this is.
Like I said, and you got the good stuff. You know how it is with vodka. You either get the good stuff or you get the strong stuff. I go for the strong stuff. Given our condition, takes a lot to put one of us out.
Yeah. Oh God. All right. Hmm.
Puts Pushes the cup over to you. Have a wash it out with tea if you want.
All right.
Yes, he just mutters under his breath, lightweight.
Jack's gonna have the tea has the same reaction. It's still like, oh God. It's still bad. It's still bad.
It's Russian black tea, which usually means it's black tea, except it's extraordinarily inhumanly hot, extraordinarily strong, extraordinarily sweet because it has a shit ton of honey in it, and the aftertaste is orange.
Yep.
Like it's good, but it's like way too sweet, way too hot, and way too strong. Kola just grabs his temples and says, You don't drink vodka, you don't drink tea. What kind of Russian did they give me?
If I'll definitely tell you what kind. So I'm just saying, my black tea doesn't taste anything like that. My tea is fine. Even the one time I made vodka was fine.
Hey, you could go in and ask Mikhail to make your mojito. Last time I tried to do that, he didn't stop laughing for 15 minutes straight, so you can try your luck.
Nope, I'm fine.
Thought so. Hey, what can I say? I'm not good at first dates. It's been a while.
Wait, was this a date? I'm pretty sure that's not okay.
Just grabs his temples, lets his palm slide over his eyes.
Pretty sure it's not. And she is sliding into tipsy.
He points at everything on the table and says, you do realize I'm joking, right? Like,
Yeah. Oh. Oh. Yeah.
you're nice and all, but, given our situation, even if it was the case, it shouldn't be.
Rule number one.
You don't talk about Fight Club.
I don't even know. I've seen the movie once. That was weird. Oh. Wait, so who was the last person you went on a date with?
Let's not go down that road.
What? Oh no. I'm sorry. Oh man. I mean, if it means anything, my last date was incredibly awkward. My last first date was incredibly awkward.
He looks at her, looks at the glass in front of her, which I'm presuming is at least half full.
Yep.
He just
Like she's
takes
not
it
gone.
like he just takes it in front of her from in front of her, just like slowly drags it by the rim. Okay. I'm gonna get you a coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Black, strong.
Uh, we'll just go with black. Actually, can I make it? I'll just go ahead and make it. I'm not gonna inconvenience anybody.
If you can convince that guy to let you in his kitchen,
Definitely.
yeah, you just stay here taking the fresh air, no more alcohol free. He just shoots in, comes back like 5 minutes later with this big motherfucking mug of like freaking comedically big mug. It almost looks like a soup bowl, a repurposed soup bowl full with coffee. Just like puts it in front of you. Takes the takes your glass of vodka from in front of you, just downs it in one gulp. Ah, that's the good stuff. Doesn't even fucking blink.
She just looks at the coffee, swallows really hard. Oh god damn it, this is gonna be terrible. And she's gonna put back the coffee. She has to roll stamina for it.
Oh, if you botch, I'm gonna laugh my ass off.
Nope, she's not drinking any more of that. She's like, nope, done, not doing it.
I think that's a botch, man.
Yeah, nope. She's just like, nope, nope, nope. Just goes to the nearest bathroom.
Cola just lights up a cigarette and it's like, what the fuck? They sent me a broken one.
As a note, I'm not rolling for intoxication. I'm actually rolling for something entirely different.
Fair enough. But
Yeah.
that's a botch nonetheless, unless the difficulty is lower.
I just made a roll. I didn't really like. It's not actually something that I had to do. I was just making it.
Fair enough.
But you do have a point. That's why she's just going to the bathroom and she's just gonna wash her mouth out with water. She just doesn't care. She's just like I'm bad, just bad.
He's just sitting there, one hand around his temples, the other just like dragging out of the cigarette. Why the fuck? What the actual fuck? And we got along so nice. She seemed nice, even though she's one of them. Why? 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 Trying to make a friend the old-fashioned way. What's so wrong?
She comes back without missing a beat and she says, "This was nice. I enjoyed this." There's actually no hint of sarcasm.
Can we at least have a talk, or are you going to get sick of that too?
Wait, what?
I was hoping we can talk like off hours.
Yeah, we can do that. Listen, this is a very specific thing up with me. It's not really me, it's more really my family. Do you know how some of us with she'll kind of make it so that way there's four legs walking.
Mm.
You know how some of us with that can only eat meat?
He nods.
My family has something similar. Everything that other people make for us tastes awful.
Nods.
Yeah. It didn't matter what was given to me. Even if he made a mojito, I'd probably still hate it.
Picky, aren't we?
I can hunt still. And I can make my own things just fine. The moment someone lays down a plate in front of me, and doesn't matter how much effort they put into it, doesn't matter what they put in to season it, tastes terrible.
My apartment's not that far from here. I've got a coffee machine. Not a coffee machine. I've got everything you need to make coffee. But if you want to turn this, and he makes big air quotes, date even more awkward.
I mean, if you want to go on another one or something, I can just make the food and it would be fine. I don't mind that. That doesn't taste. Oh God. She just looks over at the coffee again. I don't get sick of the talking, by the way.
Hey, just trying to be nice, okay? It's hard, trust me. Given he points at alternatively to both of you. To both him and
Listen,
you.
I get it. And I appreciate that, which is why I was trying so hard.
Like I said, I've got the kitchen. Well, air quotes again. Kitchen. I've got nothing against sitting and talking, but I don't want to see you dehydrate in front of my eyes.
Like, you can pour a glass of water, that's fine. Because you're not making water.
And I'm gonna sit here with this bowl of coffee and my tea and the vodka, another vodka actually, and you'll just have water and we're gonna talk in the Russian side of town.
Yes. I dare somebody to say something.
I still want to come back to these places, I've got friends here. Like I made some connections. Okay, so let's not make a scene. Like I said, I don't live
Okay.
that far away.
All right, all right. I'm just saying.
It's your
Just
call,
saying.
princess. Just decide. I'm trying to make you comfortable.
All right. We could just go back to your place. It's probably easier that way. We can talk a bit more freely anyway.
Downs that coffee in one gulp. You can see him cringe, like, ah. Downs the vodka, puts like $5 on the table. And yeah. You go back to Demi's place, which is like this weird, like freaking basement apartment. It's like a one room and the bathroom. And in that one room, there's a desk with a chair with a laptop on it, a mattress on the floor, a fridge, a microwave, like this little freaking stove that looks like it hasn't been used in at least a while, and some like freaking uh, what's the kitchen cupboards, and a wardrobe, and that's about it. Like you can basically see that he doesn't spend a lot of time there. Well, welcome to my palace.
Nice place you got here. And that's with no sarcasm. We all know how bad the apartments got over there.
I just need a place to sleep and have a shower and change my clothes. There's no point bothering in luxury. So I'm guessing you're making the coffee?
Yes.
There's some food in the fridge if you want to, and my neighbors are so loud that no one's gonna hear us. You could say anything.
Wonderful. What would you like to eat?
I've got some cheese, some salami, bread, and probably an egg or two. Go nuts, Gordon Ramsay.
Watch me. I'm gonna fucking roll crafts for this. I took crafts specifically for this shit. And I'm spending a willpower point. There's 2 successes to make a meal out of a couple of eggs, some cheese, and some motherfucking bread.
And some salami.
Okay, and some salami. All right, so what she's done is she's basically made like using the egg that's there. What she's done is she's basically kind of diluted some of the egg and like beaten that up, and scrambled that. Threw the salami in there. Uh, Once all that was done cooking, she took that out, put those into bowls, spread breadcrumbs on them, and that is the dinner.
Yeah, it's like a weird omelet.
Yeah. Oh, and she'll throw that cheese on there too.
Yeah. Coulda takes it, looks at it, gives it a bit of a whiff, like pulls out one of the drawers, pulls out 2 forks, hands one to Ksenia, takes one himself, and he says, as he's poking the food with the fork, he says, "A great housewife you most definitely are." He grabs a piece of the food, sticks it into his mouth, pops the like, takes out the fork with a loud like pop, and says, "Not."
She eats this and she's like, "This is fine. I like this."
So is that like a Silver Fang thing or something?
No, that's a my family thing.
Your family?
Yes. One of my ancestors pissed off a priest. If I remember the story right, that ancestor died because apparently the curse was worse on him.
I don't envy you for that.
Eh, it's fine. The way my
It's
family sees it, it's just a way for us to learn how to do something with our own 2 hands, other than rend, maim, and destroy.
fair enough. If I if you play your cards right, we might look into that.
Worst case scenario, this holds up the bowl of eggs and salami and cheese, which she has somehow made into a half decent dinner.
You're probably the only person I know who would die in a 5-star resort.
Yes, I'd want to kill the chef on site.
And you're very different from most of the Silver Fangs I've known. At least from the ones I've heard of.
Don't get me wrong. I do want to attain to for my family. And I am very proud of my lineage. Just my lineage is
I didn't get that. I'm sorry.
she said that she is proud of her lineage. She just gets that. She just knows that her lineage is a different one in comparison to others.
By all stories, our tribe shouldn't get along. Yet I brought you into my home. You're the first one on SIP that I brought home. So consider yourself honored.
And so I shall.
If it wasn't for the obvious, and he points at his nose, I would have never taken you for a silver fang.
That's fair.
Takes a couple steps back, looks at you and says, Bonar, maybe Glasswalker, probably Child of Gaia.
Whew! That one's surprising.
I'm sure you have cautionary tales of never being alone in a room with the Shadow Lord.
Innumerable ones.
And what is the course of action here?
Not to turn my back to you.
You do realize I own a gun, right?
Oh, what was that? I didn't catch that.
He says, you do realize I own a gun, right?
That probably wouldn't stop me. It wouldn't stop you either, to be fair.
There's few of us already. There's no point in trying to kill each other.
So you're just much the same way. If I wanted to continue rivalries like that, I would have stayed home. I'm here for something more. I'm here to learn, and I'm here to create. Also, Ren more than a few for Mori.
If there's one lesson I took to heart in my cubhood, is that we should take pride in what people can do, not who they are.
For me, it often goes hand.
And you cut off again.
In hand. I mean, take for example you. I like to think that I'm starting to understand your philosophy now. Haven't had it at all. I wouldn't necessarily say easier. No one's responded to you better because of who your parents were. Because of them.
Now, do you think because I smell like a Shadow Lord, everyone bows to me? No, it's not like that.
I didn't say that either.
You think I'm more Shadow Lord than those of my tribe that do not have?
Didn't claim that either.
Then why does it matter? We don't pride ourselves in our lineages like other tribes do. Pride
I'm,
ourselves on ability.
and I don't doubt that.
People think of us as being manipulators because we have a right given by grandfather to lie to those we don't trust. People say shadow lords rule by manipulation and fear. We have a no bullshit policy, especially to our enemies. Yeah, might be seen as bloodthirsty, we might be seen as ruthless. We get the job done. What's wrong in that? We're not a tribe of ragabashes, even though some people assume that. It's just that some people don't remember what they have to do unless you snap at their heels. It's as simple as that.
Hmm. One thing that I've heard on the Shadow Lords from my learnings and from everything I've heard is at their best, the Shadow Lords are willing to do whatever it takes to get a job done. When you give a job to a Shadow Lord, you can be sure that it's done. And the ones that I was always told to be wary of weren't the ones that you hear about that were self-interested or backstabby. She throws up air quotes. The ones that I was told to be careful about were the ones that were willing to do absolutely anything to get a job done. I'm not talking about kill some people that saw something to preserve the veil. I'm talking about things worse than that. Far beyond any amount of reason.
Yet still, the job gets done.
But at what cost? That's the question that we have to ask ourselves.
Problem with people that say this is they only look at the immediate costs. One Garu dies, so 3 spirals die. Yeah, it's a loss. It's a loss for the nation, it's a loss for their tribe, it's a loss for their sept, it's a loss for their pack. But by sacrificing one Garu to kill 3 spirals, those 3 spirals could not kill again, or even worse, corrupt others to do their killing for them. Ripples in a pond. That's what people don't see.
In the moment, that is a win. Yes. However, we can't do that every time. If we are so quick to sacrifice a Garu, if it means taking out something else, listen, I'm all for doing what you can to win the fight, and I'm all for sacrificing yourself so someone else can live. But if we use those ratios, if every Garu died, there would still be spirals.
And that's
Still
where
be
the
4 more.
problem arises. That's where the problem arises. We could all fuck like wild dogs, left, right, and center. Put out as many new Garu as we could. And it would still be pointless. I'm not saying every time we fight the spirals, one of us has to die. For each 3 or 5 or 10 of them that dies. It's a matter of who. And where and when and context. That's why there's this myth that we make good alphas, but we make even greater betas. Some assume it's cowardice, some assume it's escaping responsibility. I say it's wisdom. Wisdom to figure out that he who gives the sentence bears the weight of the swinging blade. That's why you don't find good alphas a dime a dozen. That's why you have Garu, like me, like others, who fight the urge to pack up. I know a pack is like a family, but a pack is also a family you choose. If you wouldn't be willing to die for your pack, and you wouldn't be 110% sure that your pack mates would do the same for you, what's the point in packing up?
That is how it should be with packs.
And we both know that Garu pack up for different reasons.
Yes, for many it arises out of a need. For some, it can be an alliance. Much as I may disagree with that, I don't think packs are naturally going to be political units, but I don't think forming one should be a political unit in and of itself. I, I don't know. No, I do know about you now. I've heard enough to guess this. We didn't come here to play politics. I think that both of us, if we wanted to, could. And if we had to, we would, but
You're supposed to be the ones that are born and raised to be alphas. Would I even have a chance in fighting you in political, air quotes, combat?
are you challenging me to that?
I'm not challenging you to anything. What would be the point?
I mean, if you want to know my analysis up until this point, we both have clear advantages and disadvantages. You have experience here, and people know you, and that's solid. I am a Galliard. It is my. I was quite literally born to stir the hearts of Garu and kinfolk.
Yet you are also fighters, second only to the Arons themselves. And of course you tell stories. And remind the nation about its purpose and what it has to do. Lift morale. You're also the ones that sit next to the Aruns and sound the battle cries and the war howls.
That's the part I enjoy the most. Don't get me wrong, I do love a good story. And I do love when I can teach people with a story. But
Indulge me with the personal curiosity here.
sure. What would you like to?
I heard your howl when you came to the Sept. How come you bear the deed name? It's strange. Well, most Garo manage to get one by the time they're clears. I know Jacob Raya has several. Can't remember them by heart, but I know he has several.
I did tell you my deed name, however.
Out of character, I don't remember.
No. That's fair. That's fair. In character, it's that is meant to confuse.
Yeah, he looks at you confused. Says, haven't heard you howl it.
You did. My deed name is Ksenia Andreevna Ivanova. Silver Fangs with my tribe. Our names are the deed names.
So you like challenging tradition.
Ones that aren't needed, or ones that I feel need to be changed. I chose to stick with this one because when the spirals cower in fear, I want to know who it is that they are afraid of.
Sounds to me like you're playing to your ego more than challenging tradition.
Like I said, this is not challenging mission. And also, there is a. I hope that I was clear in that, well, I want to make stories. I don't want to be half remembered myths and fables.
Given it enough generations between deeds and those who tell them, everything gets surrounded in myth.
Maybe. But I want to save that off as long as possible. Just think back to the Silver Fang tales you've heard. Also, just the Silver Fangs that even today that hold great power within the nation. How many of them have actual deed names?
Coming from someone who has absolutely zero Silver Fang lore. And OOC, not a great knower of Silver Fangs.
That's fair. Yeah, if you just want to say, I don't know much about Silver Fang, shit.
Thinks for a moment. It says, might be able to name a few.
All right.
Most have turned their deed names into their names or stuck to one that they felt right.
In many of those cases, the closest that you get is really a more fantastic surname, which is about as far as we typically go. We do accept, as far as I know at least, we accept deed names that are given to us. But in general, we prefer to be known by just our names. That's not to say that I don't believe in deed names, because I do. I deed name somebody that performed something truly heroic in a heartbeat, or something truly memorable in a heartbeat. So that's why I don't have a deed name. My tribe typically just doesn't use them.
He nods. The then mother from my old sept. She was also a gibbous moon. She used to tell us when we were cubs that you can tell a lot by a deed name. about the Garu themselves, and with enough experience, a sharp enough ear, a bright enough mind, even about the Galler that gave it. Some say you can tell everything about the Garu by the deed name they bear, their tribe, their auspice, sometimes even their breed. Whether the deed that they have done was a deed of courage, of honor, or of wisdom. But I'm guessing that's a Galliard thing to think about.
Typically, yes. For the other tribes, even a few silver fangs that do take deep names, it's a duty. Because you're not just giving somebody a name. When you step sideways, do the spirits call you Kolia or do they call you Bleeding Rain?
You call me by my auspice. I'm not that well known among the spirits to actually give me a name. It's either Thierge this or Thierge that.
Just wait until you start getting that rank. It'll pretty much exclusively be Bleeding Rain. Even amongst the other amongst other tribes, and their Garu will be much the same thing. And this may be my opinion, but unless it's something given by Ragabash and is meant to ridicule and is meant to help you learn, I don't believe in those joking deed names that I hear about.
Some tribes take pride in them. The Glasswalkers, the Bonars. I take a lot of pride in my deed name. Keep in mind that I said deed names, not shame names.
Fair enough. You're right.
And I take great pride in my deed name. It goes to show the others the extent that I'm willing to go to get the job done.
And I think that whoever named you that is, they are a galleon worthy of the moment. I believe the same of the one that Dee named Sam. I may not necessarily use such a D name for somebody else, something as scientific as reverb or reverberate. But I can see the thoughts and the emotion that went into that. And the effort that Sam went to earn that. And because of that, that name should be given the respect it is due.
Yet you can tell our tribes by our deed names without thinking that much.
Oh, sorry?
Yet you can tell our tribes by our deed names without thinking that much. Even our auspices, if you squint.
Perhaps. But many deed names can also, they are a peer into who you are. Bleeding rain sounds mystical. It sounds mysterious. And it sounds frightening. Fairly, fairly fitting for a Theurge, and especially for a Shadow Lord. About the only tribe that I could really imagine having that is likely the Utena. Possibly the Finley.
Maybe even Griffin's brood. They like their violent date names.
Have you've met one of Griffin's children then? I've never met one myself.
I've heard a lot of stories. Like I said, our then mother was a Galliard. Still is. Haven't received word that she passed. Not much of a storyteller, but I liked hearing stories. There's always something more to learn from them, no matter how many times you hear them. I learned like every cub about the other tribes. Never met one of Griffin's brood myself. Heard stories, rumors. Each tribe tells their own version of the story. As some might see them as reclusive, hard to deal with, unfit for this world that is so strongly touched by the Weaver. But I'm willing to bet a lot that not many can beat Talon in the forest, in the wild, on four legs. They are, after all, the tribe that is closest to the wolf in all of us.
More than a few of us would envy them. In that regard, at least. We idealize and romanticize that which is just a reality for them.
I know for a fact I'm not good on four legs. I can find my footing. I can run pretty well too. But it's odd. Still somewhat foreign.
Yeah, she looks out the window, puts in some thought, smiles. How about we take a dip out the city and do some proper running? I haven't done that since I've gotten here.
I'll take you up on that offer. Another time, I still have some work to do. I need to catch some sleep before tomorrow.
Fair enough.
And he looks at you, and there's this He looks like straight into your eyes, and it's not like menacing. He's not like trying to stare you down. It's something deep within him. He's got this f- figure of intense thoughts, like this look of intense thought, and says, "Even though I haven't seen you fight yet, I think at some point you'd make a good pack mate."
I think much the same of you.
Unfortunately, in this case, it takes three to tango, so we're still missing one.
We'll just look and see what happens then. Oh,
Sits up, puts a jacket on, and says, "Come on, I'll walk you over to a cab."
sounds good.
And unless you want to add anything else, I believe we can call this a scene.
Yo, sounds good. Thank you so much, player, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And we will see you again soon.